Hello everybody and welcome to the fourth round of the Realistic Formula Championship Division 2 in season number 9. We arrive at Canada, quite a change from the Middle East that we were just at for the last 2 rounds. But well, certainly probably a lot of drama to happen here today with 35 laps around the St. Lawrence River. And well, yes, a lot of straight lines for overtakes to happen. Season 6 was the last time we were here in this division, which is a long time ago now. Brad has won that race in the wet. These are the tyre compounds. It's the C5, C4, and C3 compounds, which is the same as last time out in Saudi Arabia. But, well, the session has just began a couple minutes ago, so we can move over into that. Hopefully we won't have any issues today like yesterday. Well, the issues didn't happen until later on, so touch wood, we'll be okay. I'm here by myself. There's no Eagle. This is normally his division, and he's not here because he's got other commitments. So, well, I'm in charge. And well, we are watching Robin Heida, the championship leader, quite dominant championship leader at the moment after, well, he did inherit victory last time out because of Tezeo going and cutting the pit exit line. Heida invalidating at the wall of champion chicane, which is easily done. And well, you're going to do it at the start of Q1 instead of later on. And well, Renz has done a 10.2. Yesterday's pole in Division 3 was a 9.6, I believe, from Misha Luvink. So we are, I think Copsey also just invalidated as well when I looked away. Yeah, we are going to get towards that eventually, I guess, as we go in this session. And this is Tezeo, who of course led about 20 laps last race and didn't take victory, goes to the top of the times with a 10.2, slightly quicker than Renz, as Atlee now to tackle that chicane and over the line with the Haas driver, P3 for the moment. And then Ingram puts in a very competitive time, which is under a 10th away from the time of Tezeo and very close to Renz's time. We look at now Invade. Someone, the Haas driver, hasn't put telemetry on. I don't know if that is, I think it's Lucas Hodes, I believe, if someone can kind of inform them. Invade, the slowest so far, but just warming up into it. The last season's Division 3 champion has the record for the most number of wins in a row as well, with 5 towards the end of last season. And well, here goes the Haas to P6 because Basara there has gone into P4 in the Aston Martin, and then Mackie in the Cadillac jumps up into P6, and then Hopton goes over the line to P4, and Bo Ellis then takes the bottom spot. And I believe this person hasn't, give me a second, I think they might have changed their name or something. God, does look right, but maybe I'm not sure. Their name hasn't corrected, but we'll leave it for now. I'll sort it between the sessions probably. Makes it easier. And well, yeah, you can do multiple laps as well on the same set of tires here. Tire wear is very low. We saw yesterday there was rain towards the end of the race, but a lot of people started on the hard tires. They went 25 laps quite comfortably on the tires, and they weren't really breaking a sweat. Tezeo pinching a toe, looking to go quicker already. Ingram actually with the fastest Sector 1 in... He did have the fastest Sector 1, but then Wagner, last week's pole sitter, has taken it away. Tezeo does improve his time, but well, Renz improved his time by even more. Sheriff going very, very, very slowly. Backed off. And Ingram can't improve his time. Beatnik, can he finally have good fortune and not have any disconnects? We have had difficulties with people leaving the session, but I think Beatnik has slightly different issues, considering the part of the world that he's from, that it's not just the issues that everyone else has been having. He's just having legitimate connection issues. Wagner makes it the Mercedes 1-2. Just 33 milliseconds separating them, as Heida does get a time on the board to go up into 8. And then there are quite a lot of other drivers who are on another lap on the same set of tyres, including the Haas here of Hodes. We should clear up that pronunciation at some point, but we'll have to do for now. I mean, considering they haven't put the telemetry on, I may as well just call them player for the moment. P13, slight improvement. Wagner, who is, well, 2 Wagners. Actually, brothers, I believe. Not just... They are brothers. And, well, they are both driving, once again, in Division 2. And... yeah, he has backed off. He was going very, very slowly there. As the Alpine tackles the hairpin. Sheriff goes up to P6. I believe had great pace last time out as well in Jeddah, if I'm not mistaken. Well, certainly put in a good performance. The Williams, of course, faster than it really should be. And that's an invalidation at the final chicane. So Beatnik going again on the same set of tyres as Kai Harris then goes into the 5th place in the other McLaren. And, well, it's very, very close margins for the top 9. Top 8 separated by under 2.5 tenths. Top 9 separated by just over 3 tenths. And Beatnik looking to make it even closer. He's gone purple in the middle sector. And now you just need to burn as much battery as you can. How much has he got saved up for this straight? You start to see the speed maybe slightly drop off as into the final chicane where it can all go wrong. Manages to avoid any kind of track limits and over the line now. He goes into P2, just 9 thousandths away from Rennes. So it's a great time there, as Mintoki then tops the timing board with a 9.9. Times tumbling as Wagner then gets an actual lap on the board, and then the other Wagner gets a lap on the board. It's all tumbling, the times, and, well, Wagner and Mintoki now the top 2, separated by just 29 milliseconds. The Aston has been invited back, I believe. I will just see if I can fix... I don't actually know what's wrong with that person's name, because it is set up correctly, but there's... I don't know. Can't see, really. I'll just do it manually, I guess. Oh, I didn't mean... Wait, Tezero's out on the wets. Great. That should be it now. So we'll look at Jimenez, who is filling in for Racing Bulls today, currently outside of the elimination zone, but, well, I mean, he did his lap on the medium compound, so blame TikTok. I definitely pressed the button. I will check again after this session. And Jimenez currently a second down, so isn't particularly finding huge improvements. Mackie as well, outside of the time he needs to get out of the elimination zone. And, well, Jimenez with the Haas ahead, getting a slipstream up to the line, crosses that line, slightly backed off there, and Well, they're in P13. Went on the grass. Interesting line taken. Don't particularly know what they were doing, but they are, well, a bit safe for the moment. 4/10 clear now of Mackie, and, well, Bo Ellis is on a decent lap in the Cadillac. So, can they escape the elimination zone? 6 minutes to go. Another grey sky, but don't know if there's a threat of rain. And I look at the chat and see that only is wet in Q3. So that could be interesting. Hopefully, I mean, by the sounds of that sounds like it'll be raining kind of towards, like, it'll basically mean the first runs are critical again, which means that the end of Q3 doesn't have all that much going on. But anyhow, the two Haas cars making their way down the back straight into the Wall of Champions and getting up to the line as Attlee in the background invalidates, and it is an improvement from Hodes, stays in P16 as Copsey going very, very slowly, and Heida is on the wet compound. So, I mean, the wet compound not really even used, even if it is wet, so they don't really need those tyres at all. And, well, 5 minutes to go now in Q1. Waiting for someone to start a lap. Maybe Shelby here is starting a lap, getting on the power on a brand new set of tyres into turn number 3. Uses the grass in turn 4 just to get a better line. What drivers need to do, but doesn't find time in the first sector. But has he maybe saved back a little bit more battery to now get a bit more improvement in sector 2 and sector 3? We'll see, as that's quite deep into turn 8 and 9, but avoids going beyond the white lines. And can he find time? He has found time. Still outside of the time he needs to beat P16. So, see if he's got any more saved up for the last sector. Of course, the Audi, actually very slippery down the straights in terms of doesn't have a lot of drag, but the power unit itself, not particularly powerful, which does cost it quite a lot. But we'll see as Shelby runs to the line, what can he do? And it is slower than the time he needs, moves up to P19. But, well, he'll need to go again. Could go again on the same set of tyres, maybe. But Basara now, currently 8/10 down on Wagner. So this could be an improvement. We don't know, depending on how the Aston goes in the final sector. We know Aston have had difficulties with their power unit in real life, and, well, yep, invalidation as Jimenez was slower. O'Callaghan invalidates. So it's going to be Copsey again, I think, who's getting in the way slightly. Was O'Callaghan. Manages to just duck out the way at the last second, but certainly cost the time slightly for the Ferrari driver, who went in deep in the corner. But, well, we watch on with Copsey on used tyres and doesn't seem to be picking up time. But is he going to get a slipstream down the straight? Maybe. He is. And he'll get it for basically the full duration of the straight, which could help himself. The Cadillac ahead, towing him along. And will this be an improved time for Copsey? Doesn't really need it. He's more than safe, but crosses the line up to P3. Shows the power of the tow. And such close margins once again here in Canada, as Mackie in the Cadillac gets out of that bottom 6. Can Cadillac make their way through? At the moment, they are with one car. Bo Ellis finding time as well. And, well, Hopton now on the bubble in P15 and opening up the wings, the active aero dumping the drag, as Invade will certainly be going on another lap. This is not going to be the one for Invade. Boelis has made a mistake, it seems. 3 seconds down as well. Hopton, though. What can he do? Moves up 1 position. Gets himself a bit more safe. But, well, now we're really thinking who is on a lap here. I think Basara here in the Aston Martin might be. Not entirely sure. As, no, don't think so. Second down on Wagner's. Not all too bad, but I think these are heavily used tyres, so won't be particularly going anywhere too quickly. In the Aston Martin is Attlee. Maybe a little bit deep there. But Attlee, few tenths clear. Heida actually kind of close, further down the order than he'd like. Basara did actually find a slight improvement, I think. But very much on the bubble still. And well, Attlee into the hairpin has a slight correction as he makes his way down the back straight. Hode finding time in the first sector. And well, Basara could be very much at risk. Attlee cutting across the chicane nicely and drives to the line in the Haas. And he does move up 1 position. Gets himself a bit more safe. Heida has already taken the checkered flag. He should be fine. He is 8 tenths off the pace. The championship leader, but well, he will be fine as Kai Harris stays in the same place. And now it's all down to what? O'Callaghan goes up to P18, but what can the Haas of Hodes do? Invalidates at the final chicane as I think Boelis, there's definitely a Cadillac about to cross the line. It's Mackie, I think. Mackie up in P15 still as Jimenez. What can Jimenez do? Over the line. Up into P12. And we are done for this session. Boelis has got a broken front wing. Slams into the barrier. And that is the end of Q1. Well, at least damage is not recorded in this league, because, yeah. But there we are. That is how the session ended. Someone just crossed the line, I think, maybe, as well. But it didn't really matter. Everyone was already safe and across the line. And I will see if I can fix a couple people's names. So, first part of qualifying, all ticked off. Samuel Wagner carrying on with the form from qualifying from last round, topping the session, but such close margins. Really going to come down to who can get a clean lap, especially if it starts raining in Q3 like there's been rumoured in the chat. So, one to look out for. Well, welcome back to qualifying here in Montreal. And already people piling out of the pits to get a banker lap on the board. Probably with used tyres. We can have a little look at the tyre wear that's currently been on all the cars, and where you can see pretty much everyone going out on track on used tyres just to get something on the board at this early stage. And well, we may as well, as we're just kind of in a bit of a period where, well, there shouldn't be too much drama going on. The Aston Martin joins back again. I did see they asked me for an invite, but someone must be being useful in inviting them, fortunately. As well, the Williams of Sheriff now leaves. So, yeah, that was the driver's standings. Constructors as well. Ferrari being very, very strong in this division, compared to Division 3 especially. Although they did start to correct that yesterday. Because, well, they were down in P7 in the early stages of the season. Williams as well, of course, having that race win with Andrew back in Bahrain. Andrew subsequently being moved into Division 1. Didn't last that long. Oh, lasted one race in this division. And, well, Tezeo is going to take us away. Can't be crossing any pit lines on a flying lap, so should be okay. And, well, that looked nice through turns 1 and 2. And then doesn't particularly use the grass in turns 3 and 4. But then very much hooks over the curb in turn 6, which seemed slightly strange, but I guess that's just what he does. Down to turn 8 and 9, carrying the speed, and well, it's a 19.9 first sector from him, but Robin Heida on brand new tyres than a 19.6. Ren's going quickly in the second sector, quicker than Tezeo has done, but well, we ride on board with the Red Bull driver down into the final chicane. Oh, that's surely a cut. It is a cut, and the lap time is gone. Jimenez comes in, Ren's over the line to set the first actual lap of the session, a 10.0. Good lap, as Copsey does a 10.5 with the purple sector 3, but what can Heida do? Heida 7 tenths away. Must have made a mistake. Brand new tyres and 7 tenths away, as Wagner only slightly down on Ren's, and then the other Wagner tops the times. And they're even both S Wagner. Simon Wagner in the Williams and Sebastian Wagner in yeah. Only slightly confusing, but Mackie now, next one to tackle the chicane. And that looked nice with the track limits. No doubt about that one staying within the lines. And, I mean, it is the slowest time, but obviously used tyres. As well, Beatnik runs to the line now. He goes up into P5. And then Mintoki to the line. Mintoki must have backed off on this lap. Will probably be going again. Because, well, yeah. Must have invalidated. Because the time hasn't registered, so... yeah, don't know why that time was there. But, well, maybe Tezeo is going again on another push lap. Well, 3 tenths down. It's not a bad first sector, but, well, certainly not. Mintoki's gone about 4 tenths quicker in the first sector, starting another lap. So, what can she do? Ahead was P2 in Q1, and very close to Wagner. And once again, after sector 2, it's very close to Wagner again. Used tyres for the Red Bull driver. And, well, now we're just on the very long run, and got a very decisive moment coming up, which is, where do you brake? Where do you turn? Your lap can all be gone at that one very moment, but Mintoki has held on to it, and Mintoki goes up to P2, finds a little bit of time last sector on Wagner, and Tezeo then with a purple sector 3. And then Sebastian Wagner now, going even quicker, finding small increments. Can he get into the 1 minute 9s? I think he can. over the line? He can with a 19.9. Good lap from Wagner, who's just pumping in the times. And then Sheriff with a nice lap as well. And Jimenez is not going on a push lap. Wagner's still on like the tyres from the start of the session. He's on about 15% tyres when he improved that lap. So, yeah. Kai Harris should be pushing on in the McLaren. Been dropped down to P15 now as Hopton has gone into P12. And well, Harris now on the used tyres, half a second down on the time he needs to get out of the drop zone. So I don't think these tyres are particularly gonna work. But I guess Heida did have a scruffy end to the lap, so Harris will probably gain time back, if I'm correct. And yeah, he has gained back quite a bit, but then goes onto the grass for some reason on the left-hand side, which just causes him to lock up into the hairpin. That was very strange and a costly mistake, but I don't know if these tyres are going to be good enough to get through anyway. Heida jumps up to P2 on the same tyres he did the first lap on. But what can Kai Harris do? Over the line, P13 will certainly need a new set of tyres as Jimenez comes in. And then Attlee now to the hairpin, a 10th down on Copsey. These are newer tyres for Attlee. They've only got 8% wear. They're not brand new tyres, but they are newer than the laps that a lot of people have been doing. And well, Attlee over that chicane. Can he get into the top 10? Quite a big gap between 10th and 11th at the moment. And he does find that gap and is in 11th place. And once again, Copsey getting some screen time. Copsey, of course, was very quick in Bahrain. And well, could have, yeah, was winning the race, leading the race, but just believe tyre pressures and just the setup of the car towards the end of the race, he just started losing time hand over fist, and then it eventually allowed Beatnik and Andrew into the fight, with Andrew taking the victory in the Williams. But Copsey now talking about Canada, over the wall of champion chicane to the line, and where can he place himself? Only a 10th away from the quickest, P3, just behind his teammate's time. I mean, I say teammate's time. He is the reserve driver, Copsey. But well, Pablos has basically missed the majority of the rounds. So, yeah, he did make round one. But if you want to join the Discord, do ! Discord in the chat. And that should work. But Beatnik has topped the times as Wagner going slowly. Mintoki with a very good first sector time in the Red Bull, now looking to show her hand. New tyres, and goes over the grass slightly, but it's not too bad at all. Tazeo doing a lap behind, so this will be a good comparison between the two Red Bulls. Mintoki 2/10 up so far, as Tazeo gets to the end of the first sector. Slower than Mintoki, but quicker than Beatnik. As Wagner as well, with a very competitive first sector time on new tyres as well. These times are tumbling fast, and Mintoki through the final chicane fast and up to the line. And where can this put the Red Bull driver? It's to the top by 1.5 tenths and into the 0.6s. But didn't find time in the last sector, but it didn't cost too much in the end. Still found the quickest time, and well, probably only a small amount down in last sector. Tazeo here, pinching a slipstream from Simon Wagner. And now over that final chicane, for Seb Tezeo. And crossing the line to P2. And very, very close margins. Purple final sector again for Tezeo. And then Sebastian Wagner ruins the Red Bull fun by topping the times by 12 milliseconds. As it's oh so close again. So Jimenez now. This should be a new tyre lap as well. And well, can he enter the very close top 10? Doesn't find time in the first sector as Copsey goes for another lap and improves up to P4. And then over the turn 8-9 chicane for Jimenez. Can he pick up a bit of time? We're comparing to Ingram here, and well, 7.5 tenths down, and the braking seems a little bit unsteady. It's like locking up herd, but obviously sometimes you can just hear that because that's what happens when you're a spectator. Ren's going very well in sector 1 as well, quicker than his teammate, losing time to his teammate in the middle part of the lap. But over the final chicane, slightly deep, tagging the barrier as well. The Racing Bulls, as he gets to the line, improves, but is 6 tenths away from a time he needs to get into the next part of qualifying. The top 10 separated by under half a second. It's a very close Q2 session again, just like yesterday, and Renz will be next to try and enter the top spots, and does by 0.04 of a second. Mercedes 1-2, Red Bull 3-4, all within a tenth of each other. This is looking like it will be a great battle when we get into Q3, but first of all we have to see who gets there. And Mackie now in the Cadillac. Where can he get up to? P14 for the moment. Don't know if there's a pace in that car really for Q3, but Atlee, the closest competitor to the top 10 at the moment, improves but stays in that P11 position. Can anyone challenge? You think Kai Harris should be able to get up there. Hopton up into P12 as now this is critical for Kai Harris. He pinches a slipstream from Jimenez, but then has to quickly get back to the racing line. And the McLaren driver now charges for the line to knock Ingram into the bottom 6, but can't. And Kai Harris, with 1 minute and 24 seconds to go, could potentially be out of qualifying here. He's got time to get around again, but has he got the pace? He's certainly got new tyres still. He's only done 1 lap on those tyres. Ingram goes up to P8, pushes Sheriff down to being the driver at risk. But there's quite a big gap, really, between 10th and 11th place. There's a clear top 10 here. And, well, Kai Harris is one of those who needs to get into that top 10. Tezeo improving on Renz's time, locking up a bit in towards the hairpin. Wagner as well, improving. They're just doing more and more laps on the same set of tyres. Basara in the Aston Martin. What could he do in the first sector? 2 tenths down on Sheriff. Can anyone find the time? Tezeo comes in. So he's backed off. He's already through. And now we ride on board with the driver currently in P2 in this session. As well, will he bring it into the pits? No, he will go to take the checkered flag. Jimenez outside of the top 10, moves up to P11. Wagner takes the top spot with a 9.4. And then what can Basara do? Kai Harris has made it to the line. He is going again and is on another lap. But what can he do? As Basara tackles the final chicane and takes the shortest run now, hugs the right-hand side up to the line and stays in that P15. As Sheriff now, the driver at risk at the moment. Hopton is improving. Not sure by how much though, as Sheriff over the final chicane. Can he push his teammate down to being the driver at risk? Over the line, stays in P10. Kai Harris is up on Sheriff, but only by 11 thousandths of a second. It's going to be so close between the McLaren and Williams. Atlee misses out. What can Hopton do? He misses out in P12. But Kai Harris, this is so critical. The McLaren driver into the final chicane. He's barely up on the Williams time. Will he find time in the final sector? Will he lose time? To the line. What can he do? It's P11. Kai Harris is out of qualifying in the McLaren. He lost time in that final sector. He was up after sector 2. But well, by over a tenth, Kai Harris has been knocked out of qualifying. And yeah, look at that. Sector 3, the Williams. We know McLaren, they have great downforce, but straight lines are not where they are best. But you still would have thought there'd be time there for Kai Harris. But well, he'll have to fight from P11. Well, there's the confirmation of the session. 2 Racing Bulls, nice and close to each other in lap time, but unfortunately the wrong side of the line. Didn't have the pace in the car. Both Williams doing the job to get through. Ingram as well, doing very well in the Alpine. But well, the rest of the top 10 pretty much as expected. And we move to the final part of qualifying. So, final part of qualifying, a potential threat of rain. But, so that means everyone should be getting out there pretty early and on their new tyres to get their best lap now. We had this situation yesterday where rain fell and, well, a lot of drivers already getting out there, new tyres as well for everyone. And well, yeah, Ingram seems to be the one that doesn't have a fresh set of tyres. But well, that'll be unfortunate, but it's only 5%, so not all that bad as well. Bit of racing here on the outlaps as well. Yeah, Tazeo goes past and now is the lead driver on the racetrack. Oh, chance of rain, 27% at the moment, apparently. So, I'm not seeing a high chance, but, well, it was only about 40-50% when it started raining yesterday in quali. So, we will see what happens, but Mintoki obviously having to be re-invited to the session. That could be costly. There's a yellow flag as someone just slows down, but Tazeo to begin the runs in Q3 then. What has he got as he uses right out the white line on the right-hand side to open up the first few corners and carry the speed through. And well, Tazeo, who's certainly looked in contention throughout, can he now deliver in the final part? First sector time comes in, it's a 19.7, but Robin did do a quicker sector one before and has gone quicker by over a tenth. Copsey about matching Tazeo in the first sector, and well, Renz as well matching Tazeo. Beatnik slightly quicker, and Tazeo invalidates his time. So Tazeo will not be setting any lap time on this first run. That could be costly if rain falls. And well, Robin going quickly. Copsey about a tenth down. Renz slightly quicker than Robin through 2 sectors, but the Ferrari is one of the least draggy cars and should be getting quite a good run down the back straight towards the final chicane. How much risk does he take? He knows he needs a lap at this point over the line for Heida. to 9.6. Renz invalidates as Copsey goes into P2. And Beatnik will be next. Beatnik in the McLaren, 2/10 away. And yeah, he is with only 3 drivers with a time on the board at the moment. What can Ingram do? Ingram P5 on the used tyres. Simon Wagner, front row for the moment. What about Sheriff? He's backed off. So we have to look at Wagner, but Wagner's invalidated as well. So Wagner will not be doing a lap at the moment. And well, now we have to try and work out who's doing what. Renz is not pushing. Tezeo is pushing on this lap, but isn't finding time. I wonder if Wagner isn't pushing either at the moment. Mintoki purple in the first sector. And well, the skies are getting greyer. That is for sure. The chance of rain is increasing. No raindrops at the moment. And Tezeo now towards the final chicane. See how high up he can get. This has not been an ideal lap, but he's been quick in Sector 3 all session. And he goes into P5 with the purple Sector 3. But Mintoki has been up so far through the first 2 sectors. And Mintoki, one of the favourites so far based on what we've seen. Looking to see if she can put herself to the top of the timing page. Slightly gets out of shape out of the final chicane. Is it enough for provisional pole? It is with a 9.5. So now, can anyone respond to those times? Renz has set purple in the first sector. In the Mercedes, Renz going again. Finding time. And can he get a time on the board before it's too late? We ride on board with the Mercedes man as Copsey has damaged his rear wing somehow. As a lot of people doing laps again. As Sebastian Wagner going really quickly in the first sector. And well, his brother as well, just up the road, improving through the first sector. And second sector, purple for the Williams. That was very close to the lines for Renz as well. Can he go to provisional pole? 6.5 minutes to go. P3. But now we look back to the Williams of Wagner. What can he do? Purple in the second sector, up on the provisional pole time. Wagner and Wagner about to finish their laps. Can they get towards the top of the timing page? Firstly, it's the Williams. Simon Wagner to the line. It stays in P4, but Sebastian Wagner has been quick all session, and with a 9.3, he now tops the session. With rain potentially on the way, Sebastian Wagner now leads Q3 as people return to the pits. Copsey will fix his rear wing damage that he somehow picked up. But yeah, Sebastian Wagner once again holding provisional pole position over Mintoki. Mintoki very quick in Sector 3. The Red Bull is quite quick on those straights. We know the power of its engine in real life compared to, well, I mean, they didn't qualify for the additional development opportunities because they had such a powerful internal combustion engine, but obviously the overall package, yeah, Mercedes is certainly the benchmark. And well, Mintoki already back out on track, along with a lot of drivers looking to get a run in nice and early. Because, well, the skies are getting greyer. And well, Ingram's actually, he has got a new set of tyres. He's on them now. So, well, could have thrown it away if it starts raining now before he's got a chance to use these tyres. But well, we'll see. But Tezeo as well on an outlap. Copsey on used tyres. And Toes, Robin Heida. He's on used tyres as well. As well. Yeah. He's been called Robin in the server for ages. And well, we watched Tezeo to see what he can do. We keep an eye on Ingram's lap times as well. And we keep an eye on everyone. We keep an eye on the clouds as well, as the threat of rain certainly there, and Teseo not finding all that much time in the first sector, and is time slipping away for the Red Bull driver. Ingram quicker through the first sector, Mintoki improving, but slower than Wagner in the first sector. But the Red Bull obviously very strong in sector 3. Ingram 3, nearly 4 tenths down, as Teseo hooks the car through the hairpin. And well, Ingram, wonder where he can challenge. He could potentially get into the top 8 at least if he holds this lap together. And well, here we go with Ingram first over the line in the Alpine, crosses the line up to P9. But what can Teseo do? Again, quick in sector 3, and he goes to the top of the times with 3 minutes to go. What an improvement in sector 3 as Mintoki invalidates Teseo on provisional pole. Robin not improving. Robin going slowly. Copsey improving. Copsey's in the wall. Copsey has made a mistake. I don't know if he's actually hit the wall. He may have just spun, but well, he won't be improving on that lap, as well a lot of people start laps, including Beatnik, who is up in sector 1 with just over 2 minutes to go. And what can he do? Simon Wagner slightly down. Ren's invalidating his lap at the early stage. It's really not ideal. Beatnik loses time. Sector 2. And we know the McLaren does struggle in the final sector. Sebastian Wagner starting another lap 2 tenths up on Teseo, but Teseo gains so much in the final sector. It's still not over yet. As well, Beatnik into the final chicane, cuts across and invalidates as well. Is it going to start raining? It's certainly getting a lot darker. And Wagner, Sebastian Wagner, 3 tenths up on Teseo's time after sector 2. It's a mighty sector 2 from the Mercedes driver. And well, he could be about to spoil Teseo's moment here. Teseo probably going on another push lap to try and respond. But Wagner just needs to, he knows he must keep it within track limits at this point. He's on a lap that should be good enough for pole position as he crosses the line and he goes to provisional pole. So 109.1 from Sebastian Wagner. But the 2 Red Bulls are pushing on and are finding time. Teseo down on Wagner by 2 tenths. What about Mintoki? Mintoki will be next to take the sector split a tenth down, but Red Bull very quick in the final sector, so it's still not over yet. Can Teseo strike back at Wagner? Wagner will not be going again. He's done for this session. Teseo cuts over the curbs to get as much time out of it as he can. Can he do it over the line? Purple sector 3 is not enough by 43 milliseconds as he then just drives over the grass. Mintoki, has she got enough for pole position? No, P3, second row as it stands. And now we look to Sheriff in the Williams, who seems to be on a push lap. I'm not sure what other front-running competitors are going to be doing a push lap. Robin Heida, the championship leader, has damaged his rear wing, so he will not be improving on that 4th place lap time. As Sheriff now, I think there is rain falling. Sheriff stays in P10, but with the rain falling now, can anyone find any more time? Beatnik seems to be the only one who can, unless some people are just in sector 1 still. Beatnik half a second down, but he could still jump up a position maybe. But I think this might be the last lap of the session. And Wagner has got that pole position pretty secure. Unless Beatnik can find an almighty final sector, which isn't going to happen in the rain. As can he jump up any positions over the line with the McLaren driver. Stays in P7. And Sebastian Wagner has taken pole position once again in the Mercedes. over the two Red Bulls who put in mighty attempts themselves. But, well, it wasn't enough to take down Wagner's lap. And, yeah, another great lap from Wagner. As Renz is just crashed there. But, yeah. Wouldn't particularly trust the track dominance from what we saw yesterday, but there is it, apparently. But Wagner must be very quick in those couple of corners. I mean, considering how close the laps are, you could say that, well, yeah, you could just gain so much time in those corners. But, well, I don't know. Time for the race, nonetheless. There's the qualifying order. Hopefully we don't have any issues like yesterday. But if we do, we'll have to restart the lobby again like yesterday. But, well, there hopefully shouldn't be. I mean, it just seems like someone has to crash. Like someone's game has to crash at the start of every race. And it just so happened to be mine yesterday. Here we are again. This time on a formation lap. And a lot of medium tyres, apart from the Haas cars. Okay, well, the race is going to be dry, because that's what it was before. But we get another take. So looking at the Drivers' Championship going into this round, you can see the commanding lead that Robin Heida has got. And well, that lead could have been under threat maybe on the last start, but got another chance now to, well, not get taken out or have contact. And maintain that lead that he's got in the Constructors as well. Obviously we saw before Ferrari totally dominating Mercedes on the back foot slightly. But, well, they have a pole position here. They will want to try and convert into race victory, of course. But, well, the two Red Bulls behind certainly looking to put up a challenge. But, well, lining up on the grid once again because, yeah, issues which I think are out of my control. Like, we've never had this before until the DLC, so yeah. Shush, Cody. As well, 21 cars are lining up on the grid, and we can get underway in a few moments' time. Here we go. The 5 lights come on. It's lights out. And away we go again. And this time, Wagner gets another good start. Tizeo this time with a better start than last time. Robin Heida again getting involved with a bit of contact. The two Ferraris over the road slightly through the first couple corners. But it's a lot cleaner than the last time as we make our way down to turn 3. And Wagner maintaining the lead ahead of Tizeo and Mintoki. As Attlee has another issue. Heida running in 5th now on this restarted race, and a lot of changing further down the order. But Attlee now actually out of this Grand Prix on the opening lap now, which is unfortunate. Probably couldn't take control of his car because this game is great, but no issues so far as we get down to the hairpin for the first time, and down the inside maybe looking for it is Beatnik. Beatnik looking for a move. He's going side by side as they head down the straight. And Beatnik can't quite get it, but maybe now can he win a drag race with the Williams? No. Loses out on that drag race. The Aston Martin had issues. They never asked for an invite. And I don't think they were in the lobby in the original race anyway. As the two Williams now go side by side. And Sheriff takes the position up into P6. as Beatnik then slips through, and Beatnik up into 8th ahead of Copsey. Copsey looking to challenge back down into turn 3. Down the inside he goes, switches back, tries to run wheel to wheel as Kai Harris was battling behind with Ingram. And down the inside goes Kai Harris and has to stay behind, can't quite make a move. Wagner with a 0.6 of a second advantage, and the overtake train being kept for basically the whole field at the moment. Jimenez just 1 second outside, 1 second behind O'Callaghan, so we'll not be getting that service, but down to the hairpin, no moves going on, and Wagner still leading us away. And Wagner and Teseo once again might do battle like last time in Jeddah, as Shelby dropping down the order slightly at the hairpin must have made a slight mistake as side by side in towards the Wall of Champions. You don't really want to go side by side there for too long. You don't want to go side by side there at all, to be honest, if it can be avoided. But well, on to the 3rd lap now. Invade, there's a very close train back here that's kind of split off. Now Kai Harris is part of the top 11 train, and then Hopton behind are in their own little battle as O'Callaghan, no, it's actually Shelby again making a slight mistake going over the grass as Jimenez has come in. So Jimenez, yeah, already pitting, had a front wing change. Mackie and Boelis swap around. And Wagner continuing to lead, and Renz getting a bit closer to Mintoki maybe, but Mintoki sticking quite close to Teseo. Wagner's trying to run away here. It's 9/10 already as we get down to the final chicane. And Wagner 8/10 clear as he looks to build an advantage and try and push the Red Bulls away from the overtake range. Sets the fastest lap of the race as well with an 11.84 quicker than Teseo did on the previous lap. But yeah, you can really see that split in the train now. Ingram trying to hold on to overtake as well as we watch from the rear of the race leader. And you can see he's got more battery than Teseo, despite Teseo having the overtake. They both used the boost out of the chicane. But yeah, we're not particularly seeing anyone able to make a move at the moment, so gonna have to maybe wait for tyre deltas to come into play, but obviously tyre wear quite low. But actually a swap between the two Williams cars. They swapped around on the first lap, or starting the second lap, and they swapped around again. Wagner having a slight little wobble. Beatnik as well, you can see his lag, but fortunately for him, he's in a race for once. He's not been disconnected yet. Hopefully I'm not tempting fate. But Teseo very close to the back of Wagner as we run down to turn 1, more close as he's been. But yeah, not really close at all. So yeah, Wagner away. We'll actually have a little look at the position changes so far. You can see not as much carnage as the previous start, but certainly position swaps happening. Invade moving up from the back. And Mintoki putting pressure on Teseo as well. The Red Bulls need to try and see if they can work together. Renz, Mercedes will want to get him involved as well to try and kind of form a Mercedes and Red Bull battle. Of course, you've seen so many Mercedes and Red Bull battles over the years in real life as Boelis picks up the first track limit warning of the day, and Mintoki maybe looking to get a move on as the Alpine of O'Callaghan goes slowly. Mintoki just sits in behind, and there we go. You can see Teseo already picking up one warning. Renz as well. Sheriff and Copsey on 2. And Kai Harris just picked up one as I was looking at it. Or maybe Hopton did. There's Boelis picking up another one. Basara picking up another one. Boelis dropping down the order at the final chicane. Must have Had some kind of contact, maybe. Ran in deep. Something of that sort, as there is another yellow flag. And it's Mintoki. Mintoki. What's happened to Mintoki? Mintoki, she's round and going very, very slowly. Renz and Mintoki have had contact, I presume, and they are both now right in this midfield pack. And there's damage to the Mercedes' front wing. Indeed, it goes over the chicane, and Mintoki will go through. But yes, they have been... Now that's released the top two to be off by themselves again. So, yeah, no idea what happened there, unfortunately, but obviously, what a weird place. Turn 6, it seemed, or maybe turn 3 and 4. Someone tried to move. Renz may have tried to move, and it didn't really work. As well, the two Williams trying to frustrate Beatnik, who is just having to follow behind. The two Williams forming a bit of a train. Renz coming in to make a pit stop as Beatnik tries to get the exit. And Tazeo now trying to put pressure on Wagner all by himself. And Mintoki looking to get a move on Hopton as well. Sends the Racing Bulls in a bit deep. Should get a decent run, but it's going to be a bit of a risky move to make it here at turn number 6, and stays behind for the moment. But now, with the battery and boost, Mintoki pulls to the inside. Hopton tries to fight it much as he can, but she's through. But then Hopton with the switchback might try and pull wheel to wheel, gets back ahead for the moment. Mintoki with the inside line gets the braking right, and that should now be the place one for the Red Bull driver. And she can now deploy the battery and get away and try and recover. Of course, had a bit of a mistake in Jeddah as well as at one point that tumbled her down slightly, and she had to recover. She wasn't best pleased with her performance, and she won't be best pleased with whatever happened there with Renz. And there's another yellow flag, and Copsey going very, very slowly after turn 2, and Copsey's made a mistake now. So Ferrari leading the championship, the team second in the championship. Copsey himself as round invade round in the background, somehow still going, doesn't hit the barriers, but Invade now makes a mistake as well. So yeah. Well, Bo Ellis has picked up rear wing damage as well, apparently. Very minor rear wing damage, as here we go. This is Beatnik's best opportunity he's had. Behind the Williams cars to the inside into the final chicane, and gets the move done. Goes in a bit deep, goes a bit sideways, and that gives the place back to the Williams driver. And Sheriff takes P5 back again, and Beatnik is once again frustrated behind the rear wing of that Williams. And you can see, slide on the exit again from Sheriff, and Beatnik still looming in the wing mirrors down into turn 6, but he won't make a lunge here. And here we go again, Sheriff using the boost. Sheriff will not get the overtake on the next lap. Another yellow flag. It's Bo Ellis in the Cadillac. He was going slowly around turn 5. But we tune back into this battle as Wagner has broken away to 1 second now, but can Tazeo get it back in the final sector? As Sheriff again has a little wobble on the exit. And now, can Beatnik deploy enough? Don't think he can for the moment. The battle will still go on. Thought he had the place this time last lap. He didn't get it this time. He gets a much better exit out of the corner and down into turn 1. Beatnik takes advantage of a poor exit from the Williams driver and moves up to 5th position as Copsey comes in. Copsey obviously having that moment. Don't know if he picked up damage or not. Don't think he did. He's just coming in now. He knows he needs to maybe deploy a different strategy to try and get back into this race. Wagner now 1.3 seconds clear in the race lead. 1.4 seconds. He's flying at this stage. And someone else who's flying is Ingram trying to overtake Sheriff. You can see the tyre wear and Wagner doing a very good job on tyres compared to before. He's got 40%, today 144. Sheriff and Ingram really not treating their tyres well. And well, Teseo has brought the gap back slightly, but the Red Bull is quicker in Sector 3, so it makes sense. And no one seems close enough to make a move. Maybe Basara could challenge Mackie down into the chicane that the Aston Martin on board with. But just has to kind of lift off and back out and isn't really close enough. You need to be well clear going into that corner to really make a move. You don't want to be sticking a nose in there. Otherwise you'll probably cause a big accident. We already saw a big accident there yesterday. A few accidents there, but especially one on lap 25. Well, I think it was the end of lap 24 maybe. No, I think it was the end of lap 25, but yeah, it was cast up into the barriers and then collecting numerous other cars as Mintoki going slowly again. Mintoki losing a handful of time there. Just by herself, it seemed, at the turn 8-9 chicane. So Mintoki now hopped and back within the overtake range, and Mintoki now 10 seconds away from Kai Harris as we run down to the final chicane again. Ellis picking up another time penalty, and we start the next lap with Ingram still behind Sheriff, but looking at their tyre wear, it won't be too long before both of them have to make their stop onto the hard tyres. We know the hard tyres can last for a long time. Basara coming in for Aston Martin as Shelby very close to the back of Hodes into turn 1. And well, yeah, 1.7 seconds now. The advantage out in front between the pole sitter and Seb Teseo, who looking for redemption after last time, but he's going to have to do it on strategy maybe. And Ingram gets a good run on Sheriff towards the hairpin to the outside. Goes the Alpine. He's going to have to try and get a better exit now. He has got a better line, you'd have to say, to get the better drive. He's got more batteries, got the overtake as well. It will allow him to recharge and deploy a bit more. He's going to pull to the inside. He has a faint look, but doesn't really burn the batteries there. But now can he maybe burn the batteries down towards turn number 1? Kai Harris is very close there. He's kind of backed off. Can Ingram make a lunge? Not on this occasion. The Williams locks up slightly. And again, they just follow their way through. Sheriff losing a bit more time there. Shelby gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That won't be doing him any favours, as cutting across the grass goes Ingram in battle, trying to chase and pass Yarlow Sheriff, and gets a great run now on the inside of turn 7, and that should be the position, as Sheriff might try and fight this back, can't fight it back, and Ingram up into P6 in the Alpine. Kai Harris behind, looking to see if he can get a move on the Williams as well. Down into the hairpin we go. Lap 13 of 35. When will we see the front runners think of a pit stop? Heida 6.2 seconds away from Teseo already at this stage, so not really got blistering pace to fight for victory, but he is in a comfortable podium position and away from others as Kai Harris comes in for an undercut potentially, or it will be an undercut on Ingram and Sheriff, so they will now have to respond. We know their tyres are quite bad at this stage, so surely Kai Harris will be able to get an undercut and challenge for those positions. But, well, when will... I mean, Wagner's basically... Tezeo's out of any kind of chance of an undercut now. Wagner's pulled the gap to 3 seconds. Been dominant, really, as Kai Harris here is very close with Renz at the pit exit. Renz with a lot older tyres, having pitted way earlier on. Copsey now getting the run on Renz as well. Around the outside becomes the inside now for turn 6. Slightly unsteady, and Copsey can't really get the run, surprisingly, but Kai Harris, crucially for himself, has managed to get away and a clear of these drivers, because he's trying to get an undercut. Ingram 17.7 ahead at the moment. And are they going to respond? Tezeo comes in for an undercut. Ingram does come in to try and respond. Sheriff stays out despite those very heavily used tyres. We need to watch Tezeo to see if he cuts any pit lines, but we need to watch this battle because Copsey pulls to the inside and makes an overtake. And there's once again a yellow flag. Tezeo comes back out on track. He maintains his separation from the pit line this time as they bang wheels now, Renz and Copsey, into turn 1. And Copsey still behind, as there is Ingram, and Kai Harris has managed to pull off the undercut, and he's undercut the Alpine of Ingram, and still side by side they go. Renz going a bit sideways into the corner, and Copsey has finally got that position, and Renz has been batted off. So Wagner here is within the overtake range of Robin Heida. Robin has been caught up. So I don't know if his tyres are slightly dying as Alpine retires. I think that's in the pits, so it should be all okay. And now into the pits comes the race leader. And now we will see where does he come out compared to Tezeo. Tezeo shouldn't be able to undercut. We'll see the gap update as it comes out the pits. You'll see it update even more now as well. He's going to get slightly hampered there by the Alpine going very slowly. And the gap has come down to just 1.3 seconds now between the top two in the race. Tezeo pulling off the undercut, and it has slightly worked as into the grass goes Robin Heida. Robin Heida maybe imitating another driver of this league going into the grass in a race, but then that's allowed Beatnik to get the move. Beatnik up into third. Round the outside then, Wagner goes. Wagner to the inside. And Heida, the championship leader, losing places after his pit stop. No idea what he's done there, really. And now Kai Harris will need to get past the Haas, who started on the hard compound tyres and does, into turn 8. And then Ingram will do the same, and Hode's just staying out the way. And Wagner is leading, but his lead has been eradicated. And Tezeo is very much in play. And if the hard tyres do come to him a bit better than the mediums before, he has got a chance. He gets a 3-second time penalty, though, at the chicane. So really not ideal. But obviously Wagner will still be at risk of getting one before the end of this race. And Copsey goes past the Haas who hasn't pit. And then Kai Harris and Ingram go side by side into turn 1. And Kai Harris getting the elbows out to defend. He got the undercut. He might not have the position, though, because the Alpine fights back after his pit stop and looks to have taken that place back. But Kai Harris still tries to hold it wheel to wheel, but Ingram re-overtakes Kai Harris. As now Copsey behind, looking to put pressure on Kai Harris. And Kai Harris, despite this earlier stop, which he thought could just get him into clean air, get him away from the more midfield cars, and it really hasn't, as Tezeo now 0.5 away from Wagner. Can he stick with the Mercedes in this stint? Wagner with no track limit warnings. I said he could be at risk. If he keeps this going, he's not at risk. He will be fine to the end of the race. Tezeo might need to try and take the lead and then make Wagner try and keep up with him or something, but that'll be more difficult. More difficult to do than said, because Wagner has shown great pace so far. But Beatnik holding on to the podium. Beatnik looking to take second in the championship, which he would get at the moment because of, well, Heida, well, Copsey mainly, Copsey being down the order. And, well, actually, he wouldn't get it because Wagner comes out of nowhere and then takes that position. But Beatnik does overtake Copsey, and Tezeo would go up to 4th. So, yeah, but Heida now looking to put pressure on Wagner. He can't quite make a lunge, though. And he doesn't really want to. He's got a 30-point lead in the championship. That will slightly close, but, well, no risks needed. He already decided to take to the grass on the pit exit for some reason. And Renz goes past Hodes. Still hasn't pitted in this race. 53% now on the tyres. As well, about a half a second lead for Sebastian Wagner, who, well, last week in Jeddah at the very final corner made a slight mistake which cost him a potential chance of a victory, and Heida overtakes Wagner now and gets well clear of him. I thought Wagner was going to try and fight it back, but didn't. Heida moving back up to 4th. Can he now challenge back for the podium place which he held in the earlier stages of this race? And, well, Beatnik kind of coming out of nowhere to take that place. Doing a good job with the strategy and jumping Wagner and Robin. So the top 2 in the race still only separated by not that much. Although Tezeo did just lose quite a lot of time at the hairpin, but now probably gained some of it back. But Wagner maybe looking to challenge back as Shelby goes past Basara. And, oh my word, it's absolute chaos going on back here in this battle for P13, as Shelby has the position at the moment. And then we see the 2 Racing Bulls looking to surround the Aston Martin. There's a move for the Cadillac of Mackie as well, and goes past Hopton. And Robin can't challenge. Copsey can't challenge. Mintoki did make a move. That was just past Hodes as Mackie makes another move into the final chicane and overtakes Basara as Boellis, I think, was going slowly. So Beatnik being followed quite closely now by Robin, and Robin looking to see if he can get back. Renz is round. He's off where Sebastian Vettel went off back in 2011, which gave Jenson Button victory. And he is off there at turn number 6. So Mintoki makes a move past Sheriff. Can Robin make a move, though, on Beatnik? Because this is as close as he's been. As he pulls to the inside, Beatnik tries to defend, tries to cover it off, but can't. And Robin moves back into the podium places, but Beatnik now looking to challenge back with... Now, with the battery deployment, but he can't quite pull alongside. And now can Robin scamper off into the distance? Or can Beatnik use the overtake mode, which he might have now? He might not, because of where the detection point is. Jimenez into the pits again. He pit on lap 1. The end of lap 1, of course, so it's on a bit of an offset strategy, and we'll probably have to have a safety car to bring him back into play. And, well, lap 21 of 35, and Beatnik doing a good job at the moment to keep up. Mintoki looking to catch up as over the road goes Ingram, and a safety car comes out. Mackie's out of the race, and the safety car has been deployed. Where actually is the Cadillac off the track? I'm not sure, but 10-second penalty given out for a collision between Basara and Hopton. I don't know if that's as the safety cars come out, they've just collided, but anyway, change of tyres again, as well. Both of those drivers were given a penalty for colliding with each other, so... Interestingly, medium compound for Sebastian Wagner, hard compound for Seb Tezeo. So Difference in compounds, difference in tyre allocation. And who's that going to hand the advantage to? I mean, we know the mediums can last the distance, but will they be the better performing tyre for the rest of the race? Potentially, potentially not. As well, Copsy's actually stayed out. I don't know if he's on about 30% tyres. And, well, surely he will come in because he's such a big disadvantage to everyone else. But yeah, this is a bit of a strange one. Rennes has been gifted a route back in now. And we'll also have a few other drivers who, well, may have got a bit unfortunate with certain things happening. But, well, behind the safety car once again here in Canada. Had 2 safety cars and 2 virtual safety cars yesterday. Not quite been the same as, down the inside. Bo Ellis has been lapped and is trying to unlap himself, I think, or he won't be able to unlap himself unless the drivers go very slowly and kind of pull to the side of the track, and the game might let him by, but it's a bit of a risk for those front-running drivers. And, well, that's forced Copsy into and then Beatnik taps the back of Robin. So Copsy having to run across the chicane because of Bo Ellis sticking his nose down there. And, well, Bo has managed to get through on one car, but this is a bit of a kind of risky game. Yeah, but see what happens. And now wheel banging with Septizeo. But, well, probably have another lap of safety car after this one. Everyone won't have caught up. Well, yesterday the safety car was called in, and then the safety car stayed out for another lap. So who knows what's going to happen with this game. Who knows what that Cadillac is doing? He's trying to unlap, but he's kind of, yeah, just kind of poking his nose down the inside of corners where the leaders are driving in. So big risk. And I mean, he's not going to catch up to the back of the train, even if he unlaps himself right now. So and now we got the same thing as yesterday. So the safety car, is it? No, the safety car is going in. It's just a very late call, and the whole pack haven't necessarily caught up. But, well, we go back racing here in Montreal, and Tezeo has got a great restart, and he's already going to the inside into turn 1. Did he get an illegal overtake? Did he have to give that back? Maybe. He certainly lost momentum, and Wagner has maintained the lead, and now this is where the lap car is going to be causing chaos because he's not really giving up the positions like he should be. He's just all round goes one of the McLarens as Beatnik was round, as then a big lunge from Kai Harris, and, well, the 2 Ferraris have managed to get past the Cadillac as the 2 Ferraris go wheel to wheel, and, well, Robin will surely need to be ahead, and is now ahead because he's on the newer tyres. Copsy on the very old tyres, and now Copsy under threat from Wagner towards the hairpin, and Wagner gets the position, and he should easily win the traction battle, and he has won the traction battle, and he is away, is into the wall goes Beatnik, and Beatnik stranded in the middle of the back straight. He's not out of the Grand Prix, but he was round, and he has tumbled way down from fighting for a podium barely not that long ago to then now down to P17 with damage on the car. Surely, if he's not got damage, it's a miracle. Ingram goes past Copsy. Copsy is falling like a stone here with these older tyres. as Mintoki now looks to put the challenge on Kai Harris. And, well, those are the track limit warnings. Few people 1 warning away. Wagner 2 warnings away. Robin and, well, Simon Wagner haven't picked up any warnings at all. And now it's getting very close because Copsy's trying to defend, but Kai Harris is looking down the inside. And Copsy's lost another place. And there might be another one as Mintoki tries to get through. And Renz tries to get through as well. They could go 3 wide. Down the back straight. As here we go, as actually Copsy looking to put a move back on Kai Harris. Down the inside goes Copsy. Copsy takes the place back. Mintoki now looks to get the run. Kai Harris could get boxed in here. Mintoki all the way down the inside. Copsy holding the middle of the track, not allowing anyone through. Kai Harris banging wheels with the Red Bull. Kai Harris should get the best run now to challenge the Ferrari. Can he make a lunge to the inside? Ren's now trying the move on Mintoki. Mintoki stays ahead. Sheriff as well, barely that far behind. Also involved in this battle. Down the inside goes Renz. Can't make the move. Copsy still holding on to 6th position, despite these massively older tyres. And Mintoki still trying to put pressure on the McLaren of Kai Harris. But can't make a move there. But now we get down to the hairpin again. And, well, this is where it started happening last lap, where there were lots of dives. And again, there goes Renz down the inside. And Renz slightly tags Kai Harris, ruins his momentum. He almost had a move on Mintoki and then didn't, as onto the grass. Then goes Sheriff in the background. Sheriff gets squeezed out. Copsy still holds on for the moment. Here comes Kai Harris to the inside, into the wall of champions. They go wheel to wheel. Oh, and Kai Harris just about gets through. Mintoki's momentum gets ruined. Renz takes the place on Mintoki. Renz takes the place on Copsy. Down the inside goes Renz now on Kai Harris. Oh, bit of contact between Kai Harris and Renz as Copsy looks to go around the outside. Copsy still going wheel to wheel with these cars despite these older tyres. Is onto the grass goes the Ferrari, and that could be the end of this challenge from Copsy. He's lost multiple positions out of the points now, as I think someone just dived down the inside again on Copsy, and Shelby now takes the place as well. So Kai Harris now is the leader of this train, but surely with a lot of hungry cars behind to fight. Renz escaping away. And now what can Mintoki do about the McLaren ahead? Because here comes Mintoki, and the Red Bull is a lot faster down the straights. So Mintoki should be able to get that position. Kai Harris out of battery, and Mintoki takes the place through to 7th place. Looking to recover after many incidents and, well, a few mistakes maybe, and now can put the challenge to the cars ahead. No penalty for the moment for Mintoki, so can certainly challenge as, well, the gap now between the two leaders gone up to 1.1 seconds as Bo Ellis is on the wet compound, just driving around, having fun. He's not going anywhere. So, well, as long as he doesn't retire, that won't be pleasing the team if he does retire for no apparent reason, because, well, the financial penalty that entails. And, well, Ingram joining this fight with Wagner and Robin, and Ingram a lot closer to Wagner than Wagner is to Robin. And Robin seems to have got out of any overtake threat now, and Wagner and Ingram can continue the fight they were having at the start of the race. A bit lower down the fight was at that time, but now after everything that's happened, they're now fighting for P4 and P5. Wagner not quite out of it yet with Robin, but 0.9 just slightly dropping off. So it's calmed down slightly compared to the restart, but I think Invade was trying a move on Hopton, couldn't quite get it. Invade with no track limit penalties. He went the whole of last season in Division 3 without picking up a penalty. And well, that can certainly do you good when you're in a slower car, just picking up a few positions here and there. Or if you can get past Hopton, got a chance to get a few positions maybe. If quite a lot of people with front wing damage in the lower half of the grid, as Bo Ellis is round and has been lapped twice now by Beatnik. And Beatnik is joining that invade battle as well. And Beatnik looking to recover. No idea what happened to him, really. He was here on this straight at this very point. But Beatnik makes the move on invades. Can he get enough momentum, though, to hold that position? He can't. Invade pulls back ahead. But now onto the straight we go. Invade gets the run on Hopton. And Beatnik just kind of has to sit behind and watch for the moment and hope that these two take each other off or something. Invade goes in very deep as he locks up, but makes the move. And Beatnik has to just sit behind and watch as they fight away. As Simon Wagner now picks up a time penalty. And that means that Ingram is fighting for this position on track with him. As we head down the back straight. And is there going to be any move? The Alpine with a lot more ERS going on to this straight compared to the Williams. But can't do anything with it as Beatnik has cleared Hopton. So cleared one car in this chase to, I don't know, try and get back into the points. You never know if he just has blistering pace, but and with the penalties as well, but he's quite a way away at the moment. So, and we're almost at the point of no safety cars. Ingram had a little look at Wagner there. Thought against it though, but again, Wagner going quite slowly in the run towards turn number 6. And Ingram with the battery advantage again. And surely it's only a matter of time before Ingram gets the run. Might be waiting for the back straight. He might have a go at the hairpin though. He backs off. He forces the Williams to go in a bit deep. He'll now square off the exit and try and get the run. As here we go. Is he close enough? Wagner's got a decent run, to be fair. He's burned some of his battery, and well, Ingram maybe could have taken one of those other opportunities. And he still has that battery advantage, but down the straights to Williams is able to hold on, and now Wagner can have a bit of a recharge before we get to the critical points again. Renz and Mintoki will be doing battle quite soon. And well, they've already had previous in this race, I think. Well, they both tumbled down the order at the same time, which suggests that that happened. As well, Bo Ellis, once again, is off and stopped. But, yeah, I mean, he should be, as long as he doesn't get himself lapped too many times, he'll be classified. A dodgy exit from Wagner allows Ingram to have a look. Ingram goes to the outside. Ingram pulls ahead. Ingram takes P4. Can Wagner fight it back as Mintoki and Renz go side by side into the hairpin? Renz was overtaken, but Renz got the place back. And now Mintoki wheel banging with the Mercedes, pulls wheel to wheel down the back straight. And Mintoki looks to be pulling ahead, but Renz will now try and come back with the normal racing line. And Wagner, there was a yellow at turn 1, and Wagner has made a mistake, and that's given the lead to Seb Tezeo. It's unbelievable as all. Renz hits into the back of Mintoki going into turn 1, and then almost spins out the Williams as well. And what is going on? I have no idea, but with just a few laps to go, Tezeo is in a race-leading position. And now just needs to bring it home. And well, once again, contact with Renz. which is just unbelievable. This happened again. But, well, I saw there was a yellow at turn 1. I saw that Boellis was not... Boris wasn't around that area, so... Yeah. And now the lead, 3.7 seconds. How many warnings does Teseo have? 5 warnings for Teseo as Ingram and Wagner swap around going into the final chicane. So Teseo needs to not get another track limit warning. Otherwise, it's going to give the win back to Wagner. Talking of Wagner's, Wagner and Ingram have been having this battle for quite a while. Shelby coming into the pits. Maybe we'll try and get the fastest lap. Could be the case as Sheriff ahead of Renz. And then Wagner and Ingram side by side again. Ingram getting back ahead. Has a better racing line. And the Alpine takes the place as then Mintoki goes past Renz as well. So... Robin is now all over the back of Wagner on the penultimate lap of this race. Could he put a challenge for second come the end of this one? Another yellow flag for the Cadillac. And well, Teseo 4.7 seconds now in the lead, but with 5 track limit warnings. That is the key point. He's got the gap though, with no need for risks. So... we're on to the final lap now. And once again, Simon Wagner closing in. Ingram defensive. Ingram going in a bit deep. And Ingram getting a poor run. Could invite the challenge. Ingram lagging a bit. As there's another yellow flag. And it's the same thing again, I'm pretty sure. So nothing to worry about. Teseo 4.6 seconds ahead going into turn 8 and 9 on the final lap of this race. Not playing with too much margin with the track limits. Wagner knows he needs to hope for a mistake from the Red Bull driver who, well, last time out he thought he may have won his first ever RFC race until it was clearly seen on the stream that he crossed the pit exit line. But now... here in Montreal, he's been given back the lead here by Sebastian Wagner. He's made a mistake at turn 1, but Teseo looking for redemption here in RFC. And for the first time in RFC, Seb Teseo wins. He wins the Canadian Grand Prix ahead of Sebastian Wagner, who comes home in P2. Robin is spinning into the grass. He takes the final spot on the podium. Ingram takes 4th. Wagner, the other Wagner, takes P5. Harris in P6. And then Mintoki recovering to P7. Renz down in P8. Sheriff in P9. Hodes, who was staying out at one point on hard tyres, being passed by everyone, has managed to bring home a point come the end of this race. And yes, there we go. It is a first ever RFC victory. As, yeah, just waiting for the last few people to cross the line. But wow. He stayed in play and, yeah, the opportunity was presented itself. Teseo takes second spot in the standings after that one. And we didn't cross any pit exit lines on the stream, so unless he's being reported for something else that I don't know about, but yeah, there we go. And we're looking at the constructors fight as well. And there we go, Ferrari not having their best round, really, so far, but they do pick up 15 points in their fight. And this is certainly their best division, and, well, they do continue to lead the championship. There we go. Confirmation of the results. Well, it's 4 laps down come the end of it, but yeah. Seb is not going to speak. Well, there we go. That is the end of this, really. Unfortunate about the issues again. We're not restarting the lobby again, fortunately. But yeah, I mean, we'll try and do something about this for tomorrow. I don't know exactly what that'll be. Maybe someone else can host that I trust to host, if that will fix it. But yeah. Well, thank you for joining me, not Eagle, because he's slacking again. And well, I'll be back again, this time with Charlotte, for Div 1 tomorrow for more crashing on lap 1.